It's Q&A time, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for coming back. Yep, about every few months, 2 or 3 months or so, I'll pose the question to subscribers. Hey, if you got anything you want me to talk about, do you have any questions you want me to address? Man, you guys submitted some good ones today. Stay tuned and you're going to love this. All right, we're going to jump right in. Hey, if you submitted a question and I didn't get to it, I apologize. I try to pick the top, I don't know, maybe 6, 8, 10 questions that I feel that I can address in 10 to 15 minutes or so. So if you didn't get on here, I apologize. I'll try to email you a direct answer. So let's dive in. Here's the ones that I picked, and these are in no particular order. A subscriber named Scooter submitted the question, do I keep journals? He's like asking me, do I keep journals? And what a great question, because the answer for me is yes and no. Yep, I keep journals. I try to keep journals. Anytime I've got a big important meeting, or if I go to a men's group or something like that, where I'm learning, I'm soaking in a small group kind of situation, or a business situation, I'll bring a journal and I'll notate what's going on, what I learned that day, so I can always refer back to it. Then, I've been on a couple of mission trips, so I kept a journal and I wrote down a daily log of what happened each day. And one of my trips to Kenya, I actually journaled each day. And when I came home, I made a photo album and had all the text there every day and what happened. And it's such a great keepsake. That's the yes answer. The no answer is I want to get better at it. I've got friends who are diligent journalists, if you want to call it that. They keep prayer journals, and it's so phenomenal because they've kept them for years, and they'll go through and they'll write down their prayers, their requests, and then they'll go back and they'll write down their answers. So they've always got a log of what they prayed for, what was answered. They can share that as a testimony to other people. And then the prayers that they're still praying that they don't have an answer yet because God hasn't answered yet, or his answer is wait or no. We've already talked about that on another video. But they've got those journals, the prayer journals, to go back on. I'm jealous of that. I wish I had that discipline in my life to actually have a prayer journal. And that question right there, Scooter, thank you so much for it. You've inspired me to pick up another journal. Here's one of mine, by the way, and I've got these questions from today written in it. This is some of my Kenya stuff, I believe, in the earlier pages. So yeah, I want to get better at it. Thanks for that great question. The next question is from Pixie Stix. What a great subscriber name. Anyway, hers is kind of multi-part. She's got a few questions here. One is, how do you know if you should go after college or a trade? That's a great question. And as a dad of 3 daughters who kind of did both, two went through college all the way. One almost made it through. 2 of them are actually in a trade, and one of them is using her degree. So my thought as a dad on college is, yeah, it's good. It looks good on a resume. It shows people that you've got the ability to start something and complete something and go through it. And then you're a little knowledgeable about whatever it is, whatever field that you are studying. Now, when you actually go into the trade, if you ask anybody in a trade, what do you use now? Well, not trade, let's say a profession. What do you use now in your profession that you learned in college? Probably it would always be less than 5%, because people just don't use what they learned in college in their career very much at all. Most of it is learned on the job in real life experiences in a profession. So college, yeah, it looks great on a resume. It really means that you started something and you stuck to it, and you're given a future employer the confidence that you can see through to completion and, win things. But if you've got a skill and you love what you do and you can figure out how to make money at what you love to do, man, trade is the way to go. And my middle daughter and my youngest daughters have done just that. They figured out what they're good at, and they figured out how to make money at it. So that is a phenomenal thing to do. And if you've got an entrepreneurial spirit, you don't have to do that thing that you love for somebody else. You can do it for yourself and help others do the same by building a team and getting bigger at what you do. So really, for me as a dad, I value both. And I would highly recommend that you figure out what you love to do and figure out how to make money at it. If you can do that, then yeah, college, take it or leave it. A second question from Pixie Stix is, how do I make myself more employable? I highly recommend a video that I've got, how to build a work ethic. So look up work ethic across my channel and you'll find that video. That's how you make yourself more employable. Having a great resume is good, connections is good, and networking is good, but building a strong work ethic will help you get into just about anywhere, because once you have that in your soul and you go to interviews, your answers are going to be different, and your answers are going to be things that spark an employer's ears and imagination, and they see the possibilities with you. So work ethic, man, number one way to be employable. But find a good resume template and make sure that your resume is current. Don't get something from 1980. Make sure you get a good modern day looking template for a resume and fill it out to the best of your ability, because that's the door opener. Networking was kind of another question for yourself. I would highly recommend for all young people to start a LinkedIn account. Make sure you're on LinkedIn. Start linking up with people with interests that you've got. So whether it's sales or marketing or accounting, whatever it is, start finding people across LinkedIn, because that is a phenomenal business networking tool. And as you build that and you get more than 200 or 500 or even 1,000 connections, those can really benefit you in the world of business. And most churches around the country have networking opportunities. They got business groups where you can go and network with other Christian, other believers, and it's a great way to get your name out there and figure out what you want to do, figure out people who can help you with that, and try to make those connections. So yeah, through church is always a good way to do business connections. And just in general, your town's Chamber of Commerce has ways that you can get involved with that and get into other business networking groups. Hope that answers your question. And Emily Wren, another subscriber, asked a series of questions, so I'm going to try to go through these quickly. I don't want this video to turn out to be too long. She asked, how do I quit comparing my success to other people? Well, that's a tough one, because we all do that in some form or another, and some of it's healthy and some of it's not healthy. So don't worry about stopping comparing your success to other people. Worry about what that internally does to you. So if you can look at somebody's success and be envious in a positive way, meaning I would like that, I'm going to strive for that, I want to be their friend, I want to learn what they learn, I want to not be jealous of it, not be spiteful of it, not talk about them behind their back because you've got this envy inside. That's not a healthy way to look at other people's success. But to learn from other people, to use them as a mentor, to use them as inspiration, is a very positive way to look at somebody else's success. Just don't ever find yourself in the negative situation where you don't want them to be successful. Internally, you don't want them to be successful. That's not good at all. Emily Wren also asks what to do when her faith is low, when she's doubting her faith in Jesus, she's doubting her faith in her walk, in her Christianity. What to do? Well, we all find ourselves in valleys, but that's normally where God shows up. God shows up when you are down. When you're high and you're up and everything's great, you tend to put God on a shelf and He's not there on the front row for you. But when you're in a valley, look at it as a celebratory time to see God work. So in your faith battle, when you find yourself doubting, just know that that's when God is closest to you. You just got to figure out how to find Him. Also, another great tool for doubting faith is to find other people with faith who you can lean into, who you can borrow faith from. Have them breathe words of optimism and positivity into you to keep hanging on, because God's time is not our time. Faith struggles usually come because God seems silent and there's a longer period of time than you really want something to happen. Well, that's when you just dig deeper, because God's timing is perfect, and you've got to understand that and appreciate that and just wait on it. Wow, Emily Wren also asked how to live free from regret. That's a tough one. We all regret things, but just you've got to understand the power of the cross. What Jesus did on the cross is he took away, there's now no more condemnation. Everything is dead. All your sins, past, present, and future, are gone and wiped out. So you are white as snow in his eyes if you have Jesus in your life and you've accepted him as your Savior. So that's how you live without regret. Just don't beat yourself up from that, and don't dive deeper, because regret is a tool of the enemy. He can grab you by the ankles and hold you down and make you spiral even further. So don't hang on to regret. You've got to fight that in your mind and in your prayer life and in your walk, to where you're not hanging on to that, because that is a tool of the enemy. Don't give him that win. Isabella Cristina is battling a relationship with her dad because she's trying to get into medical school and she's having a really tough time, and her dad kind of is on the outs with her right now. Well, I can only speak for myself. I watched all three of my girls go through the college life. You know, two of them made it through, one of them didn't quite make it through, but I'm there to support. I'm there to help them through that. So open dialogue is my number one recommendation. You've got to talk to your dad, and make sure you're not setting your sights too high. If you're trying to get into a medical school that expects all A's and, you know, a 4.0 and all this stuff, and whatever outside extracurricular activities, if they're looking for that and you don't have it, drop your standards down and go to a lower medical school. Because what I said about college in the beginning, really college is a door opener. That's all it is a line on a resume. When you actually get into a place of employment, it's you, your work ethic, what you do, your skill set that's going to rise you to the top. It's not what school that you went to. I've got a cousin who was trying to get into medical school, who fought and fought and fought, actually couldn't get into medical school anywhere in the country. So he went overseas to, golly, I want to say it was, I don't even know. It wasn't Virgin Islands. It was Bermuda or Jamaica, maybe Jamaica, somewhere like that in that Caribbean area, that he went to medical school. And he actually graduated from there, and now he's an emergency room doctor. Nobody asked him where he went to medical school. So anyway, I just say all that to say, make sure you talk with your dad, have an open dialogue, work through this together. He's in your corner. You've just got to be able to get on the same page and learn from his advice, and ask him. Let him feel part of your story. Let him feel that he's guiding you with what to do. Just go to him seeking advice. But just go with an open heart, and maybe you've got a dad who can do that, and maybe you got a dad who will pour into you and you guys can work it out. Maybe you've got a crap dad and he's just not going to be a part of it. That's not for you to own. That's for him to own. So you can go with an open heart and an open mind and try to get advice from him, good advice. But just know that if you don't have that kind of dad, it might be a tough road. And unfortunately, I think I've only got time for one more subscriber to ask questions so that I can answer. This is Marketa. Thank you so much. I know I've talked with you in direct messages about a lot of stuff, so thank you for submitting these questions. And Marketa asks, how would I describe the perfect day? Well, glad you asked, because I've got a video on that. I've got a video about the perfect day. To me, what a perfect day would be like. And I would suggest that you just search across my channel, look for, just do the term perfect day and find that and watch it, because that's what I feel is a perfect day. The second part of your question is miracles. Have I ever witnessed any miracles from God? Yeah, I have. Actually, growing up, going through a divorce and being raised by a single mom, I witnessed many miracles of faith where God would always give us just enough to survive. In a little trailer park with a single mom, I've got two siblings, so it was the four of us there in our little trailer growing up. It was very tough, very hard times, but I witnessed over and over where God would show up. God would give us the funds to be able to make it through. Beyond that, I've got a granddad, my mom's dad, who's a preacher. He's passed away now, as well as my mom, but he was a preacher. So I always heard stories of my mom growing up. One cool miracle from her. I might have said this on another video. She was out in a little camper behind their house way back, probably 1940s maybe. She was back there and there was a kerosene lantern and she wanted to use the little lantern there, and she might have been like 5 or 6 years old. So she was going to get kerosene and put it in the lantern to have her a little lamp, but she grabbed gasoline and put it in it and was trying to light it and light it and light it, which could have blown up and just, but God prevented that from happening. God just treated the gasoline like water. My granddad came back to check on her and he saw that and he just turned white and was scared to death. And he was like, oh my gosh, what is happening? And he grabbed her and he thanked God for that miracle, that didn't happen. So I grew up hearing stories like that. My granddad had a horrible ingrown toenail one time. His toe was just infested. I mean, it was so bad. He went to doctor after doctor, medicine after medicine. He just couldn't walk. He was limping around and could not walk to a certain point. So he just got on his knees, prayed, God, you could heal. You can raise the dead. You can breathe life into dead bones. You can do all this. Can you just simply heal my toe? And he prayed into the night. And when he woke up, it was good as new. Perfect, nothing, no sign of anything. He healed, and he showed us the toe before and after, and I witnessed that miracle as a kid growing up. So many things like that. My oldest daughter, when she was maybe 11 or 12, she had an ovarian cyst, which was really bad and really painful, and it happened to be that she was going to the doctor about the time I was going to a men's camping Christian outing, and I had all the guys pray. I had fasted that day to make my prayer even more powerful. We prayed for her. I think Monday or Tuesday after that, she went to the doctor for surgery to get this thing taken care of, and it was gone. It was completely gone. So we thanked God for that. But yes, story after story of miracles that I've seen myself. I've gone through many hard times financially, and God always shows up right there at the last minute when we're about to cave in, because that's just how he works. Not on our time, but on his time. So yeah, I've witnessed many financial miracles in myself and my career and my family where God just shows up at the last minute. I don't want this video to just keep going and going, but man, these questions are so good. I might do a part 2. Grace Dance asked some great questions also. I might put some answers just quickly for you. You were talking about finding the right guy. I would recommend 3 videos that I've done across my channel for you to watch instead of just answering right here. One is, can't find the right guy, maybe you should start working on yourself. That is a key video to watch. Then I've got one, how to find the right girl, and another one, how to find the right guy. I suggest you watch both of those to get the perspective from a guy's point of view and a girl's point of view about that weight, about God's timing, about what to look for in characteristics of a guy and what guys look for in the perfect girl. Sometimes you need to look in the mirror at yourself to be able to find the right guy. So I suggest those 3 videos. Thank you so much. I apologize for this taking so long. Man, I could just go on and on with these questions. Thanks for watching. Thanks for stopping by to check this out. Keep submitting your questions because I'll answer them offline if I get a chance. Have a great day and see you next time.